Today, I'm going to be doing a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Heart Gold, using only Pokemon that an infamously bad gym leader, Falkner, has used in the past. Taking a look at his teams he's used, minus the Lugia and any Pokemon we're not able to get in Johto, we're left with 11 encounters to choose from. So, do you think I have what it takes to show the league who's boss? Let's find out. My name is Falkner. For years, people have laughed at me for how incredibly bad my bird Pokemon are, calling me a Gen 1er for only using a Pidgeotto, and calling me a cheater for having one before it can even evolve. But all of that hate ends today. I've had enough. I'm tired of little youngster Joeys waltzing into my gym after they catch a Geodude from the dark cave and one-shotting my birds while they think that means something to them. It's time to go on sabbatical from my gym leader position to prove to the region of Johto that I have what it takes to become a champion of this godforsaken, under-leveled region. And to make things even more difficult, I'll be leaving my Pidgeotto at home, taking only Butterfly the Pidgey on my quest. But before anything, we're able to grab a few encounters in Annie the Spearow on Route 46, Tony Champ the Hoot Hoot on Route 30, and Husaria the Zubat in the Dark Cave. And just to make this a fair gym challenge, I got my twin brother, Falkner, to hold down the fort while I'm gone, and I figured that I could have him challenge me with my own gym team. So with our birds leveled up to the level cap of 13, we approach Falkner and begin the battle. Falkner starts with a Pidgey, so I send out Butterfly for an honor battle of the century as I send out a quick attack while the opposing Pidgey throws by tossing some pocket sand my way, unaware of my pocket sand immunity. So from here, a second quick attack takes it out, forcing Falkner to send out my very own Pidgeotto. I stay in and deal some chip damage with quick attack while taking a gust, but on the next turn after another quick attack gets off, my Pidgeotto goes for roost. So on the following turn, I decide to just try again with another quick attack, not realizing that a high rolling critical hit gust was coming my way, leaving me on 1 HP. Man, my Pidgeotto must really be mad at me for leaving him here. So obviously from here, I switch out into Tony Champ, who takes a tackle pretty comfortably. The Pidgeotto outspeeds and heals up again while Hoot Hoot lands the Hypnosis. I take this opportunity to growl it a few times even though it won't help out with the gust, and thankfully after getting hit with a gust, we're able to put it back to sleep again, allowing us to hit it with a meddling peck before switching out into Husaria, who thankfully on the following turn hits a massive crit bite, bringing the Pidgeotto into a deep yellow as it wakes up and hits us with a gust. And thankfully, because we outspeed, we can avoid any more roosting and take it out with another bite, winning us our first badge. And while it wasn't as easy as it could be if we used any super effective moves, I think we got a shot at this. And plus, now we got a great TM and roost, but we won't be using it for a long time as we want to make sure we give it to the right teammate. Immediately after the fight, we're able to pick up the egg from Professor Elm's assistant and the Pokemart, who hatches into Lloyd the Togepi, who is so happy to come out of his shell, he immediately evolves into Togetic, who will soon become a hard carry for our team. And now that we have access to Rock Smash, we're able to stock up on shards from the ruins of Alph to trade in for some much needed berries to help us out. And with that, there wasn't much left for us to do before heading south to Route 32 and into Union Cave, which you might think will be daunting with a type weak to rock, but with some quick maneuvers to avoid the trainers, we got out unscathed, only to end up in Azalea Town, the home of the next gym. But before we begin prepping for a surprisingly risky gym battle, we gotta take on Proton and the Team Rocket grunts in the Slowpoke well. While this isn't really part of the gym challenge, we might as well take care of some pesky crooks along the way since, you know, I am a gym leader and all. But anyways, Proton was a bit of a joke, still only carrying a level 12 coughing, where Lloyd begins his extrasensory exorcism. So from here, we're able to take out the gym trainers and level up our team to the level cap of 17 before approaching Bugsy, who is really weirded out about why I'm here, as he didn't expect that I would ever reach him through Union Cave. But think again, Bugsy, think again. It is now time to see who is the superior son. Bugsy opens with his iconic Scyther while I bring out Lloyd. The Scyther leers us while we are able to get off a very important yawn. For some reason on the next turn, Scyther kind of throws a little bit and goes for leer again, allowing us to set off a charm before he catches some Z's. Now that the Scyther is guaranteed to stay asleep, we switch into Annie for free. Annie is then able to hit Scyther with a high damaging Aerial Ace while the Citrus Berry procs, and thankfully, the Scyther stays EP, allowing us to hit it again with Aerial Ace, just barely doing enough damage to take it out. And yeah, the Metapod Rod and Kakuna are both a one-shot with Aerial Ace. There we go! A fourth of the way through the league, and we are on fire. But don't celebrate yet, because we have a rival battle to fight. And don't worry about why the rival is called Whitney. It's totally not because we named the rival after the trainer that made us wipe on the previous attempt. Anyways, the fight begins as Whitney sends out his Ghastly, only to be immediately shot back down with Lloyd's extra sensory. This baits in Croconaw, who doesn't have Ice Fang yet, but is still a decent threat. Thankfully, Lloyd is able to defang the Croc with Charm and Yawn, as it only tries to slow us down with Scary Face, allowing us to take it out with a few extra sensories while it's napping. Finally is Zubat, and I think you get the picture here. With that out of the way, we enter Elix Forest and find some Farfetch just hanging around. Because this guy is a viable encounter for us, I attempt to steal one for myself, but these guys claim that the Farfetch'd are theirs, so unfortunately we have to wait on that one. But they do reward us with Cut, which allows us to continue on forwards, where we eventually reach Goldenrod City, the most urban city in Johto. And here, we're able to get a massive amount of upgrades in TMs, items, and more from both the department store and from destroying Voltorb Flip in the game corner. Let's go capitalism. But with that, it was time to take on the next gym leader, Whitney. And this is going to be a tough one, as her Miltank is known for taking down many trainers on their gym challenges. But I think there's a chance that we can get through this. And with a little bit of last minute training, we're able to evolve Butterfly into Pidgeotto for some much needed extra bulk. But anyways, the fight begins as Whitney sends out her Clefairy, so I send out Husaria, who immediately gets off a wing attack, leaving Clefairy in the yellow, leaving her open to a surprisingly lucky Metronome Stab Rock Climb, getting off some decent damage. But from here, we go ahead and take it out with another wing attack, prompting Whitney to send out her ace, Miltank. So I switch into Lloyd, who tanks a Stomp relatively well, and thankfully, the next one doesn't flinch, so I can get off a Yawn. I risk crit killing if I stay in now, so I switch into Tony Champ, who doesn't really tank a Stomp that well as the Yawn kicks in, only for it to wake up with the held Lumberry. So from here, I go for Hypnosis and hope that the Stomp doesn't flinch, but this time it does. So I have to switch into Butterfly, who also doesn't tank a Stomp that well, and begin throwing some Pocket Sand while getting hit with more Stomps. But after healing with a Citrus Berry, I can then get Miltank down to -6 accuracy before it hits us on the final Pocket Sand throw and crits me, living on 2 HP. Man, Butterfly is getting so lucky living on these crits. With not many more options remaining, I have to switch to Annie, who dodges the incoming Stomp. From here, I go for a Growl to nerf the incoming Stomp that does hit and decide it's safe to do that again. But this time, the incoming Stomp lands and crits again, taking out our beloved Annie, who I am now very much regretting sticking our one and only return TM onto. From here, it's looking pretty scary, so I send Lloyd back in to tank another Stomp, proccing the held Citrus Berry, healing us up a decent amount while I go for Yawn again. On the following turn, the Miltank goes for Attract, and thankfully we break through, allowing us to get off a much needed Charm. Now, I decide to switch into Husaria, and on the following turn, the Miltank wakes up and whiffs a Stomp, allowing us to get off a natural gift with a Lepa Berry attached, doing the super effective fighting type damage. The next Stomp comes off cleanly, while I do more damage with a wing attack, and somehow the following Stomp also connects, but with all that unfortunate luck against me, I'm able to land a critical Supersonic, evening the odds, which allows me to switch back into Lloyd while it hits itself in confusion. Miltank decides to cooperate and hits itself again, allowing another Yawn to connect. With Stomp nerfed to such a degree, the next one connecting doesn't matter as I start to do more damage with extra sensory. Oh wait, okay, it crit the Miltank and killed it, winning us the fight. That was a battle if I have ever seen one. And while we did receive our first death of the run, I'm pretty happy with how I was able to dig myself out of that terrible situation. Whitney, you and your Miltank have finally been put in your place. I am now the better gym leader, and with that, it was time to move on. But before we left Goldenrod, we dropped Annie in the daycare where she may rest until the end of time. Before leaving, both Tony Champ and Husaria evolved out of despair. Yet, Husaria's undying love for Annie forced him to evolve immediately again into a fully evolved Crobat. But now having said our goodbyes and grown for the better, it was time to continue forwards without our bird that has easily swept Morty's gym in previous attempts. On the way to the next gym, we encounter what could be a scary threat to our team in Sudowoodo, but thankfully, with Husaria being so fast, we can easily run away from it without any issues, letting us blaze the path to Ecruteak City. We decide to enter the burned tower and find our rival Whitney, who challenges us to a fight. Ghastly gets sent out first, so I throw in Lloyd, but I'm immediately punished for not equipping a Lumberry when the Ghastly confuses us and we get hit in confusion immediately. Ghastly then hits us with a curse, while we get hit in confusion yet again. With so much damage racking up on Lloyd, I decide it's worth switching to Husaria while Ghastly attempts to lock us in. From here, a bite is enough enough to take out the Ghastly, baiting in Magnemite. I go ahead and confuse the Magnemite while it confuses me right back, and on the next turn, I break out with a Bite while getting hit with a Thunder Wave. Not wanting to risk playing with RNG, we switch into Tony Champ while Magnemite gets hit in confusion. From here, something actually crazy happens. We whiff a Wide Lens boosted Hypnosis 3 times in a row. Just to calc that out for you, that's a 3.5% chance of happening. Good job, Tony Champ. You're now confused and paralyzed, and you hit yourself in confusion on the following turn. Thankfully though, Tony Champ breaks out of both para and confusion to land the following Hypnosis, allowing for a clean swap back to Lloyd, who can go for a Flamethrower, a TM courtesy of the Game Corner to take it out, leaving Lloyd in a great position to take out the incoming Croconaw, who, by the way, now knows Ice Fang. But we do the same song and dance here, charming it down while it tries to slow me down, and yawning it to allow for a safe extrasensory exorcism to commence on the Croconaw and on the following Zubat. Yeah, I made that way more difficult than it needed to be, but wow, did we get some pretty bad RNG there or what? Nonetheless, it was time to pick up our next encounter to the west of Ekritique and leave Farfetch'd the Farfetch'd, who I'm sure will be seeing a ton of use. But with that, it was time for Gym 4, Morty, and with many of my flying types sharing an immunity to Ghost and Normal, I don't see how this guy is going to be much of a challenge for me, but let's see if I can manage to not throw against this spiritual guy. Morty starts the battle with a Ghastly, and learning from the rival fight, I start with Husaria this time, who can outspeed and one-shot with a Bite. The Haunter then comes in, only to share the same fate as its younger sibling. The Big Boss Gengar then appears, who can actually tank a Bite, but chooses to use his one and only turn on the field to mean look, allowing me to outspeed and kill it with a second Bite. And yeah, the following Haunter can't do much to save itself either. Whew, nice and clean battle. We definitely needed that after our hauntingly bad last performance. But with that, we've conquered the first half of Johto, netting us the HM for Surf, allowing us to get our next encounter in Permita the Natu and the Ruins of Alf, who immediately is able to evolve into Xatu. I'm so excited to use this guy as I've never been able to use a Xatu before in a run. Anyways, with that out of the way, it's a straight shot to Olivine City, where we decide to take on the Lighthouse Gauntlet, which only turns out to be a few mandatory fights that we make our way out of without any problems, allowing us to find the local gym leader Jasmine, who barely even recognized me as we've only ever seen each other at the Pokemon League yearly reviews. But she says she needs some potion for this Ampharos that's only found in a small house in Cyanwood City. That's odd, there's no way this is a legal operation, right? But while we're here, we might as well take on the local gym, whose leader Chuck uses fighting type Pokemon. Ha! Another great type matchup for us. There's no way we mess this up, right? Just an easy Husaria sweep? Well, let's find out. Chuck leads with Primeape, so I bring in Husaria, who hits it with a wing attack, taking it out in one hit. So far so good. The Poliwrath is up next, so I hit it with a wing attack, but this time bringing it into the deep yellow, proccing its Citrus Berry while it throws out a scary Hypnosis. In fear of a Focus Punch going off, even though I quad resist, I decide it makes the most sense to switch out into Permita, tanking a Body Slam. From here, I get off a sneaky Confuse Ray while getting put to sleep again with Hypnosis. I decide to stay in and burn a turn of sleep while the Poliwrath immediately breaks out of confusion and hits us with a crit Body Slam, leaving us with only 6 HP. That was a close one, but from here, I switch into Lloyd on a pretty meaty Surf, and on the next turn, the Poliwrath finally charges up a Focus Punch, allowing us to take it out with an extra sensory. Yeah, if I just stayed in with Husaria or even tossed it a Lumberry, we probably would have been completely okay. But regardless, we made it out in one piece deathless. And with that out of the way, it was time to return to Olivine City to give the sketchy potion to the Ampharos, which prompts Jasmine to return to her gym position. But it's not quite time to take her on, as Price, the supposed 7th gym leader of Johto, has a lower level cap than Jasmine. So we can take this opportunity to go explore the optional routes leading up to the Safari Zone, where we have a chance of finding a potential encounter in a Murkrow. So let's see what happens here. Now, it's not a guaranteed catch because it's Safari Zone mechanics. Like, watch this. I'm gonna bait. I heard this worked the first attempt. We bait ball, bait ball, bait ball, like that. Because bait makes it not want to run away. Here we go.
All the mechanics are the same since Gen 4. The only pure remake been...
Do not flee. Please.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Legends games are another.
Well, that's great. It ran away turn 1. And yeah, that's the only place in Johto you can find a Murkrow. So no Murkrow on this attempt. Isn't that fun? With our options starting to spread thin, I do something that might not be within the rule set of other Nuzlockers out there. I decide that even though we failed our Murkrow encounter, because Doduo is found in a different biome of the Safari Zone, I allow myself to attempt to catch it one. Thankfully, we do end up getting ourselves David cubed, which we could have gotten later after Claire on our way to the Indigo League, but it's better to have it now than nothing at all. And after training for a bit, David cubed evolves into Dodrio, a very underrated powerhouse of a Mon that will be giving us a nice boost in power. It's just annoying that we had to use our return TM on Annie the Spearow back in Goldenrod. Anyways, we finally start heading east of Eckerty to progress the Team Rocket plot in Mahogany Town before taking on Price. We enter the suspicious looking building to find Lance absolutely annihilating someone with his Dragonite, which is also a flying type. Respect. This allows us to enter the Team Rocket hideout and take out the onslaught of grunts, whose team's comprised of mostly underleveled rats and bats, only to face Petrol for the first time, who gave us absolutely no issues, opening us up to the double battle with Lance against Ariana and the Grunt. I always found it weird that a random Grunt joined in on this battle, and I feel like the battle would have been a lot more menacing if the Grunt was replaced with Proton. Oh, oops, the fight is over. Well, thanks for the support, Lance. From here, we can use Lloyd to take out the Electrodes, who aren't as scary as they look, to finish off Team Rocket for now. And that just leaves Price for us to take out in Mahogany Town, who is quite surprisingly a bit of a threat to my team of birds. So let's just see if we have what it takes to take down the old icy man, who begins the battle with a meddling seal, who, fun fact, is only water type. That's a good bit of knowledge for the Pokédoku fans out there. I send out Husaria going for the Confuse Ray, immediately getting Seal to hurt itself in confusion. The wing attack on the next turn just barely misses out on the kill, leaving Husaria wide open for the incoming Icy Wind, reducing her speed. With Price wasting a Hyper Potion on the next turn, I can then outspeed with a wing attack to take it out. The Dugong then comes in, so I go for Confuse Ray again, and the Dugong also immediately hits itself in confusion. I then go for the Whitney strats by hitting an Attract, but the Dugong hits through both Confusion and Infatuation with an Aurora Beam, leaving Husaria in range for the Citrus Berry to proc. With plenty of HP, I settle on going for Bite, but the Dugong hits through the Flinch, Confusion, and Infatuation chances to hit it with another Aurora Beam. Thankfully, it doesn't crit, but it does force us to switch into Tony Champ, while Dugong breaks free of Confusion, landing a decently damaging Ice Shard. On the following turn, I risk crit Aurora Beam, but Tony Champ holds, allowing the Air Slash to put Dugong into rest range. So I take this opportunity to switch into Butterfly, who throws out Pocket Sand twice, while the Dugong Sleep Talks roll Rest twice. From here, I hit it with a super effective fighting type Natural Gift, while the Dugong wastes a turn going for Sleep Talk as it woke up. Now, Butterfly takes to the skies with Fly, doing great damage, while the Dugong thankfully misses the Aurora Beam. But as Butterfly takes to the skies again, a second rest goes off, and as the Fly hits, the Dugong Sleep Talk rolls an Aurora Beam, causing me to need to switch again, this time into David Cubed, who tanks the Sleep Talk Ice Shard decently with the equipped Yachi Berry. I then retaliate with a Secret Power, putting Dugong into the red, as Dugong wakes up, thankfully going for Sleep Talk, allowing David Cube to outspeed any rest with Quick Attack, finally taking it out. This just leaves Piloswine to come in. Threatening with an Ice Fang, we need to switch out into Permita, who can dodge the incoming Fang, allowing us to get off a Light Screen for free before a Yachi Berry and Light Screen nerfed Blizzard does decent damage. On the following turn, I feel safe enough to go for a Lucky Chant, blocking crits from occurring in the next few turns, while the Piloswine unfortunately goes for an Ice Fang, finishing off Permita. That sucks. But it does give us a free switch into Lloyd, who can outspeed and kill with Flamethrower. I'm super upset that I didn't think Ice Fang would kill from that range, but ultimately, if setting up the Light Screen and Lucky Chant didn't guarantee Permita's life, at the very least, Permita's sacrifice guaranteed Lloyd's life, which is a small price to pay for salvation if you ask me. But oh creations, a fellow viewer exclaims, we don't trade lives. And to that I say, have you seen Permita's Gen 4 moveset? I think we'll be okay. But anyways, with Price defeated, we're able to hobble back to Hollowvine City and take on Jasmine, who, despite how scary her team looks for our team, is super easy, barely an inconvenience. With the choice specs equipped, we can send in Lloyd on Jasmine's Magnemite to one-shot it with a flamethrower, and the following Magnemite meets the same fate. Finally, Jasmine's Steelix comes in, so I stick with the plan and click flamethrower once again and take it out in one shot. And that's for not recognizing me, Jasmine. What a clean sweep. That is exactly what we needed after that terrible Price fight. And with those gyms squared away, it was time to take down Team Rocket once and for all. Although nothing of note happens until in the underground area before saving the Radio Tower President, where Butterfly finally evolves into Pidgeot before entering the battle against our rival, Whitney. The battle goes pretty much according to plan until the Feraligatr comes out, as I've deleted Charm from Lloyd's moveset, making those Ice Fangs a lot more threatening. Thankfully, I do have a Yache Berry equipped here, but I'm not sure if Lloyd will be able to take another, as Extra Sensory is a 3-shot. So I click Extra Sensory, which somehow outspeeds and gets the flinch chance. This is a Hustle Togetic, by the way, so no boosted secondary effects for Lloyd. From here, I go for another Extra Sensory Exorcism, putting the Gator into Deep Yellow, while it sends out a Yache Berry nerfed Ice Fang, doing minimal damage, allowing me to outspeed on the next turn, winning us the fight, letting us reach Archer, and there's not much reason to cover this fight, as we annihilated his team and destroyed Team Rocket once again. Much like how nobody respects me as a gym leader, it doesn't seem like Giovanni respected this Archer guy as a Team Rocket admin, as he was nowhere to be seen after the radio tower called for him. So we decide to continue on with our league adventure, leading us east of Mahogany and Ice Path, where we can find our next encounter, Bonus the Delibird, who surprisingly is going to have a key role in this run, as this guy is our one and only answer to Lance's barrage of Dragonites. And as we check Bonus's IVs, we run a calc to make sure that it outspeeds the bulky dragons, and realize that it in fact does. And once we're through the frozen cave, we enter Blackthorn City, the home of the 8th and final gym leader of Johto, Claire. And her Kingdra is absolutely no joke, and has definitely been a run killer in the past. But with all of our birds on our side, let's see what we can do here. As Claire sends in her Gyarados, I send out Bonus equipped with choice specs, and with a move courtesy of the department store, Ice Beam. I go ahead and click the only option I have, which brings the Water Snake down to just below half HP, while all the Gyarados can do in return is slap us with a Dragon Rage, allowing us to outspeed on the next turn, taking it out. Claire then sends in her first Dragonair, only to be put right back down with another Ice Beam, and the following Dragonair falls to the same fate, but this only leaves a single Kingdra to take down. And if I stay in here, I risk Bonus dying, who is vital for the Elite Four. So we gotta switch into Tony Champ, who tanks a Hydro Pump pretty well. I then hit Protect to attempt to stall out PP, but it goes for a Smokescreen instead. On the next turn, the Kingdra whiffs a Hydro Pump, while Tony Champ hits the Wide Lens boosted Hypnosis. I now switch into David Cube for free, and on the next turn, I can hit it with a Secret Power, doing just under half, while thankfully, the Kingdra stays asleep. I then hit Pluck to take its Citrus Berry, leaving it in healing range, and the Kingdra stays EP again. Unfortunately, Claire does heal with a Hyper Potion, but another Secret Power puts it down to about half. The next Secret Power puts the Seahorse in a familiar position, causing a full restore to pop off. Now in danger of being one-shotted, I decide to risk another Secret Power. In some way, somehow, I get that 30% secondary effect, which inside buildings is paralysis. And this is where it gets a little tricky. If Kingdra hits us with Hydro Pump through paralysis, there is a decent chance of David Cubed going down. But if we switch now, who knows what could happen. We need to get more damage off now. So I strap in and click Secret Power once more, while Kingdra breaks through paralysis and hits the Hydro Pump. Oh! It lived on 3! And then we just quick attack!
Oh my god, it was...
Yes! Let's go! Okay, I maybe could have played a lot cleaner, like going to Quick Attack before Secret Power, so the Kingdra would stay out of healing range, but it's a learning process, right? Nonetheless, we make it out in one piece without a single death. Next on the docket is to catch the final encounter of the run, and this one is an important one. In Razora the Gligar, with an immunity to electric moves, this guy is going to be a crazy encounter to any bird-destroying threats in the rest of the run. And speaking of which, the Kimono Girls are looking for a battle back in Ecruteak, and you see, these battles are back to back, not allowing you to change your lead between fights. But not to worry, we've got a bit of a cracked plan, as the first up to bat is Umbreon. So we send out Razora, who knows the move U-turn, acting as a great starting point for each evolution. So we send out a U-turn for decent chip, initially swapping Lloyd in, not realizing I went Citrus instead of Lum, and not wanting to risk unnecessary damage, I switch to Husaria, who can tank a Dark Pulse relatively well. From here, I send out a Confuse Ray of my own that causes Umbreon to hit itself in confusion immediately. I then go for Attract, while Umbreon breaks through both conditions to get off another Confuse Ray, but our held Lumberry procs, healing it off. On the following turn, I go for a Wing Attack, putting it into the red as it breaks through both Confusion and Attract again to hit us with another Confuse Ray. Both Pokemon are at a standstill here as they both get hit in Confusion on the next turn. Husaria continues to flail in Confusion, racking up some scary damage on itself again, as the Umbreon is immobilized by Love. And the next turn is a repeat, meaning I've now hit myself in Confusion 3 times in a row. Now, I'm sure you're telling me through your phone right now to switch to just be safe, but me being me, I thought I was guaranteed to break free of Confusion this turn, and so did my friend. Confusion's only 3.
Yeah, Confusion's only 3.
Okay. I think we can just attack this.
And if we don't, we blame it on Tom.
Okay, I'm looking it up just in case.
It is only 3.
Okay.
It's 3 max. I know that.
Alright, we got this then. Wing attack. It's confused. Ooh! Oh my gosh, this better immobilize. Dude! We just lost Crobat. But nope, Confusion has the possibility of lasting for 4 turns. Yup, you got that right. We lost a coin toss 4 times in a row. But if you think about it, that was just as unlucky as a poorly placed crit, but with more steps. So don't worry about it, I'm sure it happens all the time. Anyways, we can easily switch into David from here and take out Umbreon with a simple quick attack, which we probably could have done with no issues 2 turns ago. But the fight must move on as the second Kimono Girl begins the fight sending out her Espeon. So I hit a cheeky U-turn, sending it right into the red to start us off, as I bring David cubed in to tank a chunky Psychic, who's able to outspeed on the following turn with Secret Power, taking it out. Next up is Flareon, who is an absolute joke, as Razora can go for a dig here and one-shot it into oblivion. This next part is tricky though, as the Jolteon that comes out has Double Team, and while we do have Feint Attack, I opt to go for Dig, giving the dog an opportunity to Double Team, which lets the Dig miss on the following turn. With its evasiveness ending up at a +3 by the time I hit the next dig, I decide to risk it for the biscuit as we watch the dog double team up for the 3rd time, but Razora finds the right Jolteon through all those clones, taking it out in one shot, never punished. But the fight is not over yet. We've got a Vaporeon that knows Aurora Beam to kill. I choose to hard switch to Lloyd, who tanks a crit Aurora Beam as the Citrus Berry is procced. With not many options remaining, I decide to hold on to hope and click Yawn as the Vaporeon retaliates with a Surf, but Lloyd hangs on with 14 HP remaining. Hoping the Vaporeon goes for Surf again, I switch into Butterfly, who thankfully eats a chunky Surf, while the Vaporeon goes Night-Night. From here, I can guarantee some damage with an Electric-type Natural Gift, putting Vaporeon at just under half. I'm now forced to switch into Tony Champ, while the Water Dog stays Eepee. On the next turn though, Vaporeon does wake up, getting a decent Surf off while the Air Slash puts it into the red. With the next turn repeating the same actions, we've sealed the deal, finishing off the Kimono Girls once and for all. It was tough losing Husaria so early in this gauntlet, but overall we ended up on top and got ourselves a ticket to the first steps of Kanto. But there's really nothing to cover here until we make it to a very empty victory road, where at the very end lies the final fight against our rival Whitney, and this time I'm not going to be giving him any wiggle room. He starts the fight with his Sneasel, so I send out Butterfly and click the fighting type Natural Gift to take it out in a single shot. This baits in Magneton, so I switch to Razora, who's immune to the incoming Thunder Wave. I try setting up a Swords Dance, but getting confused is not going to work for me, as getting hit in Confusion with +4 attack would would definitely doom me on top of any other damage. So I go into Lloyd and set up a Yawn, then switch back to Resora, which allows me to get to +4 while the Magneton is still asleep. From here, we can easily take it out with a Dig, which tricks Feraligatr into coming in, who is immediately outsped and taken out with another Dig. And Resora kinda sweeps the rest of his team. And with that, the only thing left standing between me and the title of the best Johto trainer out there is the Pokemon League. We get our Pokemon up to the level cap of 47 and knock on the door of destiny. The first pin we must knock down is Will, the Psychic type master, and we have a very solid plan here. Will starts out with a Xatu while I send out Resora. I go for a Swords Dance while the Confuse Ray that's sent out is nullified with the held Lumberry. I'm now free to click Feint Attack, taking it out in one hit. In comes Jinx, who is thankfully outsped and sent right back into her Pokeball. Out next is Slowbro, who does live a Feint Attack, but chooses to only go for Curse, allowing us to take it out on the following turn. Executor comes in, who lives exactly one roll to Feint Attack, so we go for it. It surprisingly lands the roll, getting up a problematic Reflect. Knowing that a heal is imminent, we go for a second Swords Dance, allowing the following Feint Attack to put it into the deep yellow, while the living tree whiffs a Hypnosis. From here, I'm able to chop down the tree, but with the Reflect still up as the second Xatu comes out, Chat and I decide the best play is to U-turn out into David Cubed while getting some great damage off, proccing Xatu's held Citrus Berry as it goes for Confuse Ray that once again is rendered useless with the Lumberry. And on the following turn, I click Drill Peck and it takes it down, and that is Will defeated. Super clean playing so far, so let's keep this up. Next in the Elite Four Gauntlet is the recently promoted Poison type Master, Koga, and with Lloyd having access to his Extrasensory Exorcism and Flamethrower, this is looking pretty good. So as Koga starts the battle with Ariados, I send in Lloyd, who's able to outspeed it with a Flamethrower, taking it out in one shot. Thankfully baiting out Fortress, who can be scary with his explosion, but we decide to risk it and click Flamethrower, which does take it down. Okay, now the Muck comes in, and with the held Black Sludge with Minimize and Gunk Shot, this could get dicey. We start off with a great extrasensory roll as the Muck unfortunately starts to set up a Minimize, as the Black Sludge recovers just enough to probably make a 2-shot not possible. So we just try for more damage but miss, leaving Lloyd open to a massive Gunk Shot. Oh no, you gotta be kidding me! Lloyd! That was by far the MVP of the run, just wiped away from the earth. Okay, I gotta lock it in here. I send in Resora to go for a Swords Dance while the incoming Gunk Shot poisons me, although the held Lumberry heals it off. We then go for the never missing move Feint Attack, leaving Muck in the red. All we have to do now is not get crit by this Gunk Shot, and we make it happen, allowing us to take Muck out on the next. Oh, never mind, the full restore heals him up all the way. Okay, to avoid a second full restore from coming off again, I decide to risk a very scary Dig, instead of guaranteeing damage with Feint Attack. And we miss the Dig, causing us to take another Gunk Shot. Now we are in a sticky situation, as I thought Muck had one more Gunk Shot PP left, so I do something super risky and click Dig again in order to stall the Gunk Shot out, but it goes for Minimize yet again. Thinking that Muck would use Gunk Shot next, instead of it possibly being out of PP, we strap in for damage, but the Dig hits Muck, taking it out, and as the Venomoth comes out, we're able to U-turn out to safety, bringing in David Cubed on a chunky Psychic, and on the following turn, a single Drill Peck takes it out. It was now just Crobat that remained, but I could only dish out a single Drill Peck before needing to switch out again, and this time into Tony Champ, who tanks some Poison Fang damage pretty well. And on the following turn, I tank more damage and send out an extra sensory that just barely misses out on the kill. Knowing that a heal is imminent, I go for a Reflect before doing something very risky. I send out our Dragon Killer Bonus, who is met with a few double teams by Crobat. It was too little too late, as eventually, Bonus finds the Crobat with Ice Beam and takes it down. Koga is defeated. We are now halfway through the Elite Four, but with Lloyd down, this is going to be a tough battle. Thankfully though, we've got a breezy fight coming up against the second fighting type master we've seen in this run, Bruno. As Hitmontop comes out, we send in David Cubed and knock the top down with a Drill Peck, baiting out Hitmonchan, and we can just rinse and repeat, this time baiting out Onyx. From here, I hard switch to Resora, who can tank a Rock Slide pretty well. I go for Dig, while Onyx just sets up a Sandstorm, which actually activates my Sand Veil ability. Attempting to burn Bruno's heals here instead of on Machamp, we go for a Swords Dance and then into Feint Attack, while tanking soft Rock Slides, leaving Onyx in healing range. As the heals come off, we dig underground and take it out on the following turn. For some reason, Bruno then sends in Machamp as the Sandstorm subsides. From here, we dig underground yet yet again, only to be hit by a revenge while we're still underground. I had no idea that no guard makes it so Machamp could hit me while I was down. From here though, we've taken too much damage, so a U-turn out, leaving Machamp in the red as David can come in and tank a Rock Slide with a held Charty Berry. Now it's just a matter of clicking the Drill Peck button twice to finish Bruno off. That was a little more complicated than I was thinking it would be, but no harm no foul, as it's time to move on to Karen, the final Elite Four member. Karen starts the battle with Umbreon, so I send out David throwing a Drill Peck into the air, bringing it down to half, while Umbreon goes for double team. I then connect with another Drill Peck, leaving the Umbreon on literally 1 HP, missing the kill range as a feint attack comes out. Knowing a heal is inbound, we thankfully hit another Drill Peck, getting a better roll this time. On the following turn, the Drill Peck misses, as a Confuse Ray is ripped off, but the Lumberry negates it, allowing us to hit the next Drill Peck and take Umbreon down. The Gengar comes out, so I switch to Resora, as the Focus Miss misses. Now I get a Swords Dance off for free, as Focus Miss continues to do what its name implies. Now I just hit Feint Attack and the Gengar goes down. Next in line is Houndoom, and here I can click Dig as the Houndoom goes for a nasty plot, only to be taken to the farm where she can run around in open fields forever. As the Vileplume comes into the battle, Resora decides she's had enough and U-turns into David Cubed, who can finish it off with a Drill Peck. Now, all that was left between us and Lance was this Murkrow, and David Cubed goes for a Drill Peck, getting the crit of the century, taking it out, and defeating Karen, resulting in my manager being called. And it all comes down to this. It's just us, me and Lance, the Dragon type master. Wait a second. Where are all of the Dragon types on his team? Oh my, no, this can't be. All this time, I was blind. Lance isn't the Dragon type master, he's the secret Flying type master. I thought that I was given the position of the first gym leader because of how weak the Flying type is. But no, it was because Lance was jealous that I was proudly using the same type that he did. That's it. Lance, you've made me a laughingstock of the Pokemon community. It's time. It's time for you to pay for what you've done and to put you in your place. Now, this is a crazy battle, so I'm just gonna let it play out for you. This is it. The final fight of the run. 5v6. 5v6. Winnable. Hypnosis. Hold, Tony Champ. Tony Champ, you were there from the beginning. No!
That's no bueno.
No! Even if we thaw out, he outspeeds, so this thing just has to go down, I think.
I think so too. I think you risk too much keeping it alive.
Yeah. Alright, Tony
You
Champ.
might want to save him for in case things go wrong.
Thank you for your sacrifice, Tony Champ. It was a very bad roll. I'm so sorry. It lived? No way that just happened.
Oh my god.
There we go. Okay. Ice Beam. Imagine I hit present. That is nuts that that just happened. Nice. Perfect. Oh, so good. So good. Oh my gosh. Alright, it's an even game.
Charizard comes out here, no?
Probably. Actually, I didn't think about that. Does Charizard come out? It has to. Actually, it doesn't have to. Aerodactyl comes out. Okay.
Are you faster than Aerodactyl?
No shot. Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, so you save your sack, go for a Zora.
Here we go. Rock Slide.
This is bad if it does more than 8. It's 50%.
That's pretty rough.
I believe Rock Tomb.
Come on. Come on. Citrus Berry. Hit. It missed. I think I'm just gonna go for it.
Never back down, never
It
give
goes
up.
Aerial Ace because it's a guaranteed kill. Oh, that's so bad.
I think
we
it's gonna
lived
happen.
on one and hit the rock tomb.
Yo?
What? What is this? 127. So I outspeed.
Oh, you outspeed it.
I outspeed.
You can get another speed drop on it.
We have to do it, yeah. All right, hopefully we hit this. No way. Oh, that's so good, dude. That's insane. No way. Okay. Oh.
And now whatever you have outspeeds it.
Yeah. Razora, you were probably the best member of the team. Thank you. Okay.
That's the only risk. If it doesn't send in Charizard on like Butterfly and David, then it's harder to swap into Delibird.
Yeah. Ice Beam. It heals. Ice Beam comes out. We get the kill. Let's go.
Nice. All right, let's see what comes out next.
Please, Dragonite, please. It's Charizard. Okay. I think that's the move.
I think Pidgeot should come out. You only risk here is getting burnt by
Fire
Fang.
Fang.
Yeah.
We
But
hold.
I mean,
Let's go.
Ice Fang's already paralyzed, so like.
Okay. Natural Gift. How much does this do? Does this do half? Half would be legendary. It doesn't do half. Air Slash comes out. Miss would have been good. This doesn't kill, right? It doesn't kill. We have another turn.
Quick Attack brings it down to yellow.
I
stab
think
on
so too.
Quick Attack.
I think so too. That's it. Okay. Quick Attack it is. It brought it down to yellow. That's so good. Oh my gosh. I think we win.
Almost there.
We'll
almost
see.
there.
We'll see. Holy crap, dude.
Oh, Dragon Claw. Cool.
Okay. Dodrio comes out. Drill Peck. Hold? I'll hold. I probably could have acupressured there. Sorry, Tom. Okay. Dragonite is in. Tony Champ, I'm sorry. You gotta go. It hit the Dragon Rush. That's fine.
That's fine. He was at 7 HP. He
Yeah.
was dying to anything.
Yeah. Okay, bonus comes in. Here we go. Thank you, Tony Champ. Ice Beam.
No, Tony Champ
It
actually
outspeeds!
Oh.
Live. We lost. Yup, that's right. Remember when I said that bonus outspeeds all of the Dragonites? With a plus speed nature, the Dragonite does in fact outspeed. Unfortunately, there was nothing I could do here. I was playing the odds game, and I lost the 16% chance that this would happen. And unfortunately, with our foe Dragon Killer down, there was nothing left that we could do. We had him. We had Lance in our fingertips. And the only thing that could and did get in our way was RNG, but we did what we could. And knowing that bonus had a low IV for speed to begin with, I knew that because we were able to get to this point in the Lance fight, the run was possible. I could defeat the Johto Pokemon League and become the better flying type master over Lance. And that's all I really needed to know. Lance can believe that he won, as I returned to Violet City in my gym leader position with a newfound appreciation for my birds I brought along the way. Thank you guys so much for watching. This run has definitely been the biggest challenge for me yet, and I'm super appreciative of my chat for helping me along the way. Shout out to Tom. Anyways, if you've made it this far in the video and you liked what you see, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed, as it helps me out a lot. I'd also like to thank my channel members. You guys are the absolute best. And with all that out of the way, I've been O Creations, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!